Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a lot of things, like this Mongolian Empire forming and then falling apart. We also saw France fall apart, and the plague broke out, and many more things. So if you didn't see episode 10, make sure to go check that out. Quick disclaimer, I did already record just a little bit of this, and I can't get that file back. So I'm just going to explain to you what happened in that recording. So number one, most of Africa is now explored. We also see a new country. I think this is new. I'm not sure if this little pink one is new, but it's called Gambia. We also see Victoria is still here. I think this one might have expanded a little bit. India has a little claim, a little colony over here inside of Africa. The Nile and the Sudan, they both expanded inland, further inland. As you can see, most of the Sahara is now already explored. And then Libya also expanded southward. There was also a bit of tensions because the Nile and Sudan both wanted to border Rome. However, they could not border Rome because Libya is here. They knew of the area of Libya, but they were unaware that a country had settled there. We also saw down in India, floods receded. All of Sri Lanka is back, and because of how fertile this is, because it was just fully submerged underwater, they built multiple new major cities here. And this one is being currently rebuilt, this little one right here. However, it is not done being rebuilt yet, so I will not color it in, that color. And now moving up into the Mongolian region. I think at this point we're gonna have new stuff. But we're gonna see some wars break out. So the first war we're going to see is, wait, hold on. First, I have to talk about the trade routes. So what do we have to talk about the trade routes? Well, there is going to be a big trade route project that they have working on over here, and this is what's basically going to be happening this episode. So we're going to see our trade routes form. Number one, we're going to whatever it's called, internationalize, I guess, these trade routes up here. And they're going to go up around like this. And they're both going to meet up right here. After that, we're going to see this trade route shootout. And it's going to start going through here. And this is basically just like new trade route being built. It's going to go up through here. It's kind of practically touch every capital, I think. This is kind of where the capitals have been placed because of this. However, we do see multiple different splits, forks in the roads. And they go through the panhandles a lot because that's kind of how it was built. And that's kind of the Silk Road. Basically, here's how it goes. It starts from right here and it goes through all this here. It goes through every single country's capital, I believe. It goes through all here, and then it kind of splits right there, and it goes like that. Then there's a little, connection back up together. However, the split stays, and the southern split goes straight through Green's capital, and the northern split splits once again, and the south part goes into Green's not capital. And the northern part goes through Cyan, which goes around down into Lime, up and around through Ukraine, and then into Rome, connecting the east to the west. There's also your normal trade routes that kind of just connect through here, and that's kind of how it's going. But anyway, turning off our trade routes here, we're going to see some wars break out. The first war is going to be between these two. As we can tell, but with this trade route, it goes through the Red's capital down through here, and Red, they want some water. I mean, they have water, I'm sure. However, they want this lake and they want more major cities, so they're going to move in and attack. This is a surprise attack, and this little country here, this little lime one, was not ready for this attack. They're going to move their troops in through here, and they're quickly going to put siege to the capital. They're also going to have another front breakout over here in the westernish area, and they're going to go towards this major city, and this country is already almost screwed, because this giant thing is also going to declare war on them and just sneak in to take some land. They're going to move up to here, and they're not going to do much else, I'm sure. And that's a better color, I think. So that's what we see there. Red is going to try to start encircling the capital. However, that's going to be unsuccessful. But what they do, in fact, do is almost encircle it. However, they use the rest of the country as an advantage. So they enclose the capital. I guess it's not an encirclement, it's an enclosement. So this little thing is not being reached, and they're going to just get captured like that. This little area will fall over, and this country will surrender. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. All three of them will meet over here in, I guess, blue, and they're going to devise up a peace treaty. And here's what the peace treaty will look like. This red one, they will get all of the country, and then this little one will get just that little area that they grabbed onto. And this is what the new borders here look like. Let me get rid of that capital. That should be demoted to a major city. Here we are, and this is what our new little area is looking like, with one less country than before. Next up, we're going to move over to here, and we're going to see that this Mongolian and this little blue country is both going are both going to declare war on Korea. They're going to try and jump Korea. Korea isn't fully established up here yet. I'm not exactly sure when they moved in, but they're not 100% established. They have major cities and stuff. But they're going to get ready to prepare for war, and this is going to be a surprise attack by these northern countries. They're not allies, however, they're going to try and work together to jump Korea. The first thing we see is this country will move in and grab that little thing that they have, and they will grab one major city, splitting the country in two. This little blue thing isn't going to do much, however, they will move in here and grab a major city, and Korea finally gets their army up into the north area, and they are going to start fighting back. The first thing that they're going to do is push this army oh my god. The first thing that they're going to do is just push this army back, and they're going to push this army back as well. They're going to move into this northern country here, and they're going to grab around towards this major city, and they are going to just take this eastern side over. Then they're also going to move in right through here, and they're also going to move into the blue one, and they're going to take over a major city and move up towards the capital area, and this country will surrender, which will give them a good ground to push in through here. And as they sweep through, they will capture the capital, and this country will surrender. I don't know why these two thought they could even pull off something like this, but let's take a look at this peace treaty. Alright, so for this peace treaty, the first thing that we're going to talk about is how this country is just fully annexed. And this country is also fully annexed. I know, it's kind of sad to see that northerner country go, because they are the reason that all this happened. This is like where they started out, and then they moved all throughout there, and then they fell apart, and then they were shoved all the way back to here. But now we see Korea becoming very, very big. Don't forget about Japan, that's also under their control. So they are growing to become a very, very large country, and they're probably one of the top powers. Speaking of top powers, I'm going to do a quick rundown on our powers. So, number one will go to the one and only red team. They were very much so set back because of the flood and losing their capital. However, they still are, okay, because to be honest, they are off better because it's inside of, like Mesopotamia, like in middle Mesopotamia area, whatever. But number two will go to Rome. My handwriting sucks on this. Okay, there we go. One is red, two is Rome. And to be honest, I'd say that number three at this point is India still. Four, I would give that to Korea, I think. Korea. And five, that would go to Norway. Six would go to the Nile, I think. Seven would go to Spain. They're strong, but not so strong. Eight, that would be going to France. However, they are at 11 ever since they fell apart. Six is going to go to Vietnam. And the main reason for that is because, number one, they're just in an ideal spot. And then also they have the Strait of Malacca, I think it's called, which we have major trade routes from Africa, not Central Asia, this part of Asia, Middle East, and India, all going through there. So that's why they're kind of in this position. 9, I would give that to Ireland. They are very strong, to be honest. Not very strong, but like they're pretty strong. They're not going to be touched, in my opinion. So yeah, lucky them. And then 10 would go to Sudan. So that's a big gap between, Sudan and their ally. However, Sudan is rather new. And if you want to see what would go further than that, 11 would go to France. I think I said that was France. 12 would go to blue. 13 would go to Laos. I don't know how to spell Laos, so I'm just going to call them Cambodia. But that's this little pink country, and that's because they are friends and trading partners with Vietnam. However, they're not like best friends or anything. 14 would go to Cyan, which is the one north of Rome. And 15, pretty surprisingly, honestly, I think most people would think they would be higher, is Germany. So we still see our same top three dominating, but Korea has been catching up. Honestly, before the floods, they were probably at like 8 or something. I don't know. But this is what it's looking like. And if you want to know, 16 would go to Libya. I think maybe Morocco. I think Morocco would go to 16. So that is our little thingy. I think it's fun to do little power rankings. I will do them a little bit more often than I do right now, but I haven't done them yet. I don't know why, but we will soon. We'll do them more. We do not have a lot of Eastern Asian countries, and I am aware of that. We have a bunch of Central Asian countries. However, Eastern Asia has not quite had their boom yet, because that boom has really just gone to these northern ones. Moving back into Africa, we're going to see some new states form. States, countries, whatever you can call them. I'd call them states. Or, no, I'm not going to call them states. Whatever. So the first one is going to be Ivory Coast, I guess. And Ivory Coast will be looking like this. This is a rather large one, in my opinion. It's pretty large. And then this second one is rather large, honestly. I forget what country is here. Liberia is more of like right about here, but like whatever, it's fine. Oh shoot. All right, but moving out of Africa, for a little while, I think we're going to move into red, or really their neighbors. These two countries right here are not really meant to be countries. The only reason they formed was because of green, and as we know, green is like, not as strong as they used to be, at least anymore. And these two are not able to function as actual countries, and they're going to fall into anarchy. The first one to do so is this one right here, and the second one to do so will be pink. And as soon as Red hears about this, Red is going to move into both these countries and take them both over. Just like that, the final rebellions of Red are gone, and now Red gets most of their coastline back, and that's pretty nice for them. So those governments collapsed internally, and they have like no functioning anymore because they are just not able to function as actual countries, and that's why they disappeared. And Red saw that opportunity and took them over. Next up, inside of Rome, we're going to see a top secret meeting happen. The press, it's not open to the press. Some of the higher ranking officials aren't even allowed to go. It's mainly just the highest ranking officials. And inside of this meeting, they talk about where they are putting their military, and it is along the border of certain country. A certain country. Try and guess which one that is. It could be African, which means it could be Algeria or Libya. It could be European, which means it could be cyan or technically this little thing here, like through water and stuff. Or it could be Asian, but it probably wouldn't be the orange one because they have a defensive pact. And then it also could be whatever this is called, Ukraine. So try and make your guesses. But now we're going to move back into Europe and we're going to see them fill in rapidly. These countries are going to expand and conquer and expand and conquer. First, we're going to see Germany expand like a lot. Alrighty, so the first things that we're going to be seeing happening in... Ooh, God, I screwed something up. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to see is this. Then we're going to move into Poland and see them expand like so. What is this? There we go, that's more like it. And these countries are becoming a little bit beefy. Moving into Cyan, we're going to see them take these two little areas. And you might be wondering why they didn't take over this. That's because we see a new country form here. Wait, no, we're not going to see a new country form here. My bad, guys, I'm doing this live. We're going to see Rome expand into there. And Rome will expand like so. The world is quickly, but surely, quickly, the world is filling in. Moving over here, we're going to see some of the French countries expand. And like so, they're going to expand like that. And then this little orangish looking one will also expand. They're going to expand like that, and they're a bit of a weird looking country, to be honest. France is going to expand as well. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, France sympathizers. And when France expands, it will look like that. Next up, this little pinkish, reddish country will also expand, looking like that. Now, we don't have much room left, and that's because, it's also no room left. So first, this weird-looking country right here will form, and that leaves only a bit of room left. And, I'm not exactly sure what happens here. Maybe it's just immigrants from countries who are looking for a bit more of a peaceful, not war future is going to move here, I guess. I'm struggling to find a color. They're gonna be orange, like a good looking orange. There's not that much orange here. Yeah, I think that's good. This is what Europe looks like, mostly like this Western Europe filled in. And obviously we're going to see wars happen to get rid of this. I'm sure world wars will happen at some point to screw all of this expansion up. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Over here, we're gonna see these Russias go to war again. I'm pretty sure they went to war last episode. But this gray Russia will move in, immediately capture a major city, and they will move towards the capital. And the Gray Russia is far more superior to this smaller Russia, and they will capture the capital, and this country will surrender. Inside of the peace treaty, they are just annexed, and then Russia is going to go on a bit of an expansion arc thing. First, they're going to move into this kind of area and fill in all that. Then they're going to move everywhere else and expand. However, I don't like those borders. There we go. That looks a little bit better. They're going to expand through there, and then finally they're going to do a bit of expanding right over here, and they're going to take over all of that. And now Russia is seen as pretty big, and I have to remove this capital. There we go. This capital is gone, and Russia is also going to add some major cities, and so will everywhere else. All right, this is what the major cities look like. I even added some to like Ukraine. And now the capital cities for the new countries, it's right over here. This one here, and I think that's all the new countries. Obviously, we have these ones down here. Their capitals will be right there and right there, but that's about it, I believe. Continuing up here, we're going to see Finland, work together with Norway to expand, or not expand, explore and expand. They're going to work together with all that stuff, but they're going to explore, and they're going to send some brave explorers up here into the Arctic Circle to explore that. And once that's fully explored, they're like, okay, we do in fact know that this is an ocean, not just a little bit of a bay. And after that, this Finnish country is going to expand. There's no rivers, there's only just lakes that hurt my eyes. So they're going to expand. They're going to expand a lot. They're pretty strong. They're working with Norway, which is, as we know, I'm pretty sure it's number 5 or something. But their two little claims are going to be connected by land. Before they were just connected by water, but now they can be connected through land. Norway is also going to do a bit of expanding after that. Not expanding, exploring, my bad. So they're going to, how are they able to explore it? Well, they are going to go on a bit of a Viking run, okay? So they're going to turn into some Vikings. They have been working up on their navy for a long time, and they're going to move out west. A brave soul by the name of Ash Clark Du Clark is going to sail western way through here, and he's going to go up north a little bit, and he's going to see land ho. He's going to go, land ho! And his entire crew is going to hop off, and they're going to find Iceland. After finding Iceland, they're going to explore all of it, and they will go sail back. Ash Clark Dune Clark is going to go back through where he came, and he's going to go into the capital, and he's going to declare a new island being discovered over here. And they are going to make a statement saying, hey, there's an island over here. If anyone wants it, come take it because we don't want anything besides one small little harbor. I would personally call this a bit more of a colony than a harbor, but yeah, whatever. But which country will decide to move in and take this? The country will be none other than Scotland. I know it's kind of surprising these guys are a bit weak, but they're up there. They're like I'd say like 18th in power rankings. The lowest country of all, that's hard. Probably one of the Mongolian ones, but it also could be like Gambia or something. I don't know. That's a hard one. I would go with orange or lime right here because those are the newest ones. Because we don't really have that many weak countries. I mean, this one right here, they're small. That doesn't mean they're weak. They're in a pretty historical place. But anyway, Norway, their Vikinging does not stop here. Just because they were moving in through there does not mean that they're done. So Dunklock Hunklock, the son of the past guy, because I don't remember his name, Dunklock Hunklock will move in all the way back to this colony. So once Dunklock Hunklock makes it to the colony, he sets up, he gets ready for the next voyage out west because he believes there's more stuff out west, which in fact he is correct. But he moves out west and he sets sail. He goes up north and he finds Greenland. He lands there and he explores and he finds absolutely nothing. So he leaves. In fact, he unexplores all of it. Yep, that's right. No, of course I'm kidding. He stays for a little bit. He explores. But they're not going to stay for too long because of how freaking freezing it is. However, there is a big group and they do pan out and explore. However, they leave and they make an announcement of a island or a continent. They're not sure which one it is. However, they believe that it is a continent. It's next to a continent. Anyway, that's all they're going to do. But now we have North America is a bit discovered. Isn't that cool? They should have stayed to get the oil for later. I mean, the amount of oil that will help them, like there's 100% oil, bro. I mean, one country is already trying to get that oil. I mean, I'm not going to say which country it is that's trying to get the oil, but I mean, I kind of outlined them. Alright, but moving into Africa, we're going to see a country joining an alliance. This is a temporary join, and that's because they are joining a war. This country is already in this alliance. In an alliance, okay. This country is Algeria, and they're trying to join, the Diamond Alliance. And, in fact, they will. So, they are going to just be in two alliances at once. That's normal, I guess, in this time. But the country alliance that they will be joining is none other than the Diamond Alliance. I mean, I think that's kind of obvious. It's the only other alliance in Africa. So, just like that, they are in two alliances. However, they're only in this Diamond Alliance for a little bit. And that is because they are declaring war. This Diamond Alliance, and it is not on Libya. They are going to war with Rome. Yep, that's right. They decided to go to war because, well, number one, they're the most vulnerable that they have ever been. They lost their capital region, and they're trying to get these African claims because they do not want any European powers inside of whatever this place is called, Africa. They haven't had any European powers in here since Spain. Since Spain had Morocco. However, Spain wasn't even good at that time. They were good, but like they weren't like powerful. So with that, we're going to see them move in, and in fact, they are going to make a really good advance. Even they themselves are surprised that they're able to make such an advance. They're going to move in, capture the capital. They're not capital, the major city right here. And this is going to be a combined army of Sudan and the Nile. I'm just going to use one color to make it simple. But this army is going to move in through this unclaimed land, and I really got to start filling in this map a little bit more. But they're going to make the long walk all the way over to their claims here, and they're going to arrive inside of this thing, and they're going to move in, and they're going to just start sweeping down, and just like that, most of the African claims are already captured. In fact, all of it is captured. Yep, that's right. They're next going to move in to Sardinia, I think. And now Rome is going to start their counteroffensive because what the heck, guys? What are you doing? All of their military, or most of their military at least, was placed where that thing is going to happen. They have this plan to attack a certain country, and now we do know that it's not an African country because, well, they weren't able to fight back against these guys because their military was elsewhere. But now that their military is here, they're going to fight back against them, kick them out of Sardinia, and land in Carthage. This battle is one of the biggest battles we've seen in history. Hundreds, if not thousands, die. A massacre is pulled off by Algeria, and they massacred the citizens of Carthage, killing them inevitably. Inevitably? What? But they are not able to make an advance here, and for the first time ever, they are kicked out of their own land. However, they are able to make their advances down south right here, and they kick them out of the southern area, but they hold back up here. Next, we see them push against the Nile, and they attack them like so. Rome specifically states that they are only a defense and they will not be planning on taking any land. They are just trying to keep their own land. And the reason they have is there is no reason. They're just saying that. However, there is a literal reason because when they attack this country, they plan on fully annexing it. So they're going to push back against these guys here, and they're going to just get kicked out, and they're going to slowly but surely kick them out of here. And that's why you guys don't mess with Rome, and they're not able to fight back against Algeria, in fact, which is kind of sad. However, they will declare peace. So in this peace treaty, first we're going to see these guys leave that military alliance. If I can figure out how. There we go. And for the rest of the peace treaty, it will just be Algeria getting land. Here is our peace treaty. Inside this peace treaty, Algeria takes land from Rome. This is the first time Rome has ever lost land, besides the flood. But Rome will keep this little coastline here, so they don't get much of a coastline. They only get a bit more. However, they do take Carthage. In my opinion, they deserve it. They massacred practically the entire Roman population of Carthage. So that sucks for Rome. But that is only the first Punic War. Yep, that's right. This is called the Punic War because, well, it's basically Carthage versus basically Rome. So I thought that was kind of cool. And we're going to move into Turkey here, and Rome is going to finish taking all the stuff that they need to here. And Orange is also going to finish off this area. And I don't like that border, but that sucks because that's what they agreed on last episode. And there's no change in last episode. But the Nile and Sudan, just after leaving war and getting beaten up, they're going to cope by attacking Libya. These two will go to war with Libya. Yep, that's right. They're going to send a formal declaration of war, so this is not going to be a surprise attack. And they're going to move into Libya. However, immediately they're going to get pushed back. Libya is going to move in on most fronts, all fronts pretty much, and just like that, the Nile is going to go, what is happening? They just lost terribly against Rome, and now they're losing against Libya, a country that they did not even know existed only a few months ago. Only after a few weeks, Libya has moved in this far, and they're already moving in further. They're aiming towards the capital region, and they are reaching it. And the Nile and Sudan are going to surrender. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. Inside of this peace treaty, we see Libya taking over all of this land, and then after that, they're going to expand just a little bit. And Libya is becoming rather large, especially compared to the Nile, who is now very small. But the Nile is very, very confused as to how they just lost so terribly. And they're going to take a look at their population, and they're going to know the answer. That's right, the plague has spread so much in this region because of the Suez growing that they are literally losing wars because of it. Let me talk to you about this. So, what happened was the Suez is here. That kicks people out of that area. And then also we have trade going through the Suez. Before we had trade going through the Suez, but now we have major trade going through the Suez. And after the world hears about this, we are going to see major work on getting rid of this plague. And the first country to do so is Red. The entire episode, they have been working on doing this, and they have only started. It is only, gonna work now. So, first, up here, that disappears. And then over here, this has also disappeared. I'm not exactly sure, what happened. They figured out, basically cow milk after being in the sun for 2 hours is the cure, or at least the vaccine to this plague. And after learning about that, they're going to share that with Blue and India, and that will help them get rid of the plague inside of their areas. I don't know if this is unrealistic that it's going away this fast, but to be honest, it shouldn't have even started in the first place. I don't know if that makes sense either. But then it's going to disappear over here and right here. And they're also going to share this with Rome. Quickly, it will go away after they tell the populace. And after telling the populace, it will expand further through trade and word. The next place to go is Morocco, and then it goes into France, where it disappears here as well. And last but not least, Africa is going to lose the plague. So the plague is they are aware why the plague happened, and that is because of the refugees from the flooded areas moved in with other people, and they know that that's a bad thing to do. The only unanswered thing right now is how did those floods happen? They do not know how it happened. However, everyone's going to ignore that they just figured out how to solve the plague for just a little bit. Because one of the most unexpected things is happening. Rome is finally attacking the country that they have been setting up to attack for a while. And honestly, it's unexpected because these two, they used to be friends. They used to be in the same alliance. I think it was military alliance, but I'm sure it was economic alliance, but I'm not sure about military. And they were the ones who set them up. If you know history well, you know that it was Cyan. Cyan was originally made because Rome heard about what happened over here in Orange, and they were trying to stop themselves from expanding. However, since then, they have grown to become a big and vast empire, and for them to be able to expand further into Europe, they're going to need to get rid of Cyan. So, painfully, they're going to sadly have to get rid of their best friend. They've been friends with this country for so long, but it's time to get rid of them. First, they're going to move in right here, take over a major city, and start taking over the second one. And their capital is, kind of screwed. It's right next to Rome. Rome is going to capture the capital, and they're going to move up through here and capture all this. Cyan was not expecting this. However, they still are going to put up a bit of a fight. They're going to push back a little bit through here, but Rome is going to push back even further, and there seems to be absolutely nothing that they can do. However, they're going to call for aid from a rather new country. This orange one right here is going to move into Rome and start attacking Rome. Rome just cannot take a break with all these wars, and as you can see, they're not doing good because this orange one is pretty dang strong. They're able to move pretty far down, and that is going to stop once Rome is able to push back against them, and they're going to fall all the way back, and then Rome will start pushing in once again. Rome is now pushing into both of these countries, and honestly, this is not good for them. After losing their capital, Orange here will surrender. Cyan's puppet state will collapse, and it will no longer exist. They will break away. Honestly, this should have happened a little while ago because now Cyan is literally not even bordering the puppet state. I know this is similar in color to Germany. That's fine. Just ignore it. Through this new front over here with Orange, Rome is going to push in through here, attacking these areas, and this area will fall. And finally, this area will fall as well. And just like that, one of the oldest countries in the world is knocked off of the map. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see the peace treaty first. But that's pretty simple because they are both fully annexed. Orange wasn't part of the plan. They weren't planning on attacking Rome or Orange at all. However, that just ended up happening. And they might as well just take the land. And as we can see, Rome's empire is massive. You know what else is massive? My subscriber count. Yep, that's right. As of recording this, I'm at like 61 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I had 64 actually. Thank you guys so much. Our next goal is like 75, I think. Anyway, sorry. Rome is now massive. And about their puppet state, I said that ignore it, and that's because this puppet state is too weak to be their own country, so they're going to turn to their neighbors. Number one, they're going to turn to Poland, and Poland is also too weak to try and take in new land just yet. They were able to expand because they, were too strong, or like they didn't have enough land. So they're going to turn into one of the oldest countries in the world, and Germany will accept them, and they will unite with Germany. If I am not in the right layer, oh shoot, they will unite with Germany, getting rid of their capital. So we gained a bunch of countries in Europe, and then we lost like three. I don't know if you count that. But that orange country was short-lived. I don't know if we'll see them return. Probably not. We might one day. I don't know. After all that, though, Rome will expand just a little bit, and that's just to get rid of this, backwards panhandle. Is this also me just fixing up the borders? Not really, because they're also going to expand in places like this. So that's what they look like now, and as you can see, Rome is absolutely massive. We have all of the Balkans. I think this is the Balkans. This is the Baltic, and then this is the Balkans. Yeah. So this is Rome. They're doing pretty good. Their capital is literally in Rome now, which I find pretty cool. After all of that, Germany is going to expand slightly, and that's about it for Germany. Moving back into the Mongolian region, we're going to see more wars break out. But first, we're going to see something sweet and nice. We're going to see a country uniting. That is green and this lime one. They are in a military alliance together, and they need to become bigger, especially green. They just want to get back at red. And they are going to unite under one flag with two capitals. No, I'm not going to do that, actually. That's a pretty cool thing. I want to do that soon with a country. However, that just won't work out because, well, this is a very old city here. There's no point in having one or two capitals. So, yeah, but now green is a lot bigger than they used to be. And green could have a redemption arc one day. Probably not today. We're also going to see Cyan do a lot of exploring. They're going to explore all of this, and they're also going to expand a little bit. Yeah, that's right. They're bordering up here with Lime. Not that they're going to go to war with Lime. I'm just saying that that's pretty cool that they're bordering with Lime. And that does make the world full circle in another way. But we're going to see another war break out, and this time it is between, I'm trying to decide, it's going to be between gold and pink. I was trying to decide who would be the one to attack pink, but it's going to be gold. And gold is obviously the stronger one here. Otherwise, they would not be moving into pink. But they're going to move in, and pink is going to immediately surrender because they are scared. This country does not know how to function normally. And inside the peace treaty, they are annexed fully, and they are going to lose their capital. So we're continuing the theme of countries being fully annexed. Besides over here, ignore that. But and also here. Okay, sorry. We have a lot of themes of countries being fully annexed, like in Rome over here. I don't know. Oh, okay, that was one time, I guess. But we're going to see another war break out, and this is a longly anticipated war, and it is the finale. Which one is stronger, Lime or Maroon? Let's see. Lime is declaring war on Maroon, and they say that they're declaring war on Maroon because of grudges. Yep, that's right. They hate each other. Who knew? So Lime is going to move in to Maroon, and just like that, their capital will be captured. However, Maroon is not going to surrender because look at how many more major cities they have. They're very strong. They're going to keep on moving in. Yeah, that's right, and they're also going to move into the panhandle of Red. Yeah, that's right. They did not realize that that was Red's panhandle. In fact, they thought they were just like a few, like 30 kilometers too far east, and they accidentally went into Red. And Red is now going to declare war on Lime. So Red is going to declare war on Lime. However, they're also going to declare war on Maroon, and that is the one they have no justification for. They don't have justification for moving into Maroon. However, they will move into Maroon. We'll capture this little area here, and Maroon has literally no fighting back. This major city here is under siege, and eventually it is captured. Before that, though, Red will move into Lime here, and they will take back that area, and then they will move into Lime as well. Moving up this area here, they're going to just fully capture all of this. They're also going to capture this right here. There's a bit of encirclement right there. That's like 100,000. No, whoa, hold on. Like 10,000 or so troops right there encircled. And Lime is going to get their capital captured through the navy. And after that, they're going to surrender because what exactly are they meant to do here? Maroon, after losing their coastal areas, they're also going to surrender. And let's take a look at this peace treaty. Following what we've been seeing the entire time, we're going to see full annexation. And just like that, Red now has all of the Middle East besides over here, I don't know if you'd call this the Middle East. And then also, of course, down here in blue. We could deal with that later. I don't know. I'm not saying that there's going to be a war. No, of course not. They're like best friends over here, but whatever. So, just like that, they're gone. And that marks the end of an era. Yep, that's right. All of the Orange descendants are gone. However, don't forget, Ukraine and Orange are Orange descendants as well because they came from Maroon and Lime. Because they wanted to reform Orange, and in fact, this one is the same color as Orange, which is pretty cool. So I guess Orange is technically still kicking it. But the reason that they fully annexed these countries is because they wanted like full access to the Black Sea, which is logical, very logical in my opinion. They also wanted better trade with better like water trade with Rome, which yes, I know they're not in a military or economic alliance anymore. However, they still are good trading partners. But a quick disclaimer: this Cyan country is the strongest Mongolian Empire country. I guess technically this is a Mongolian Empire country because they have Mongolian Empire country stuff. And they are the strongest one, this Cyan thing. Just by the way. But a quick little thing here, we're going to see expansion. Yeah, that's right. I think this is the first time we're going to see expansion by these guys. It's because they're a bit cautious of it, because that's kind of how they formed, too much expansion. But the first to expand after Cyan is going to be this little thing here. They're going to expand like so. And then this thingy, this dark cyanish country, they're also going to expand, they're going to expand like so, taking over that area, and then they're going to move right over here, take over this. That's right, they're going to take over all of that. And this country right here is also going to move in, and they're going to take over all of that. Moving up north, this country is going to expand. They're going to look like this, and they're also going to take this. This one is also going to expand. Yeah, pretty simple. They're also going to expand northward like that. This cyan thing, whatever this is called, it's too weak to expand, so they're not going to expand. This red one, they're actually pretty strong, to be honest. They're going to expand, and just like that, they're pretty big. This, whatever color this is going to expand, and you may notice that they're expanding into unexplored lands. They're going to do some exploring really quickly. Yeah, they do a bunch of exploration. Pretty cool. But the rest of these Mongolian Empire countries, they are weak, they have poor diplomacy, and they have inherited dysfunction from whatever country this was, the one right here. However, this one, being really close to Red Team, they in fact trade with Red Team, because there's a major city, because this is what Pink's capital used to be, and then, you know, Cyan's capital is right across from that. And Cyan trades with Red a lot. And we're going to see a big mutual relation form between Ukraine, Red, and Cyan, so that means all three of them like each other equally, and they're all good friends. One last thing before we go, we're going to see Bangladesh expand. Bangladesh hasn't done anything since they formed, and now they're going to do something. This entire episode, they've been working on expanding, and now they are pretty dang big. That's right, they're going to take all of this, but they are not done just yet. They're also going to move down this way and start taking over land. And let me just fix up this border really quickly. There we go. This thing, whatever it's called, Bangladesh, has been working on expanding this entire episode. And one last thing, or two last things actually. Number one, all these countries around the Himalayas have been working really, really hard. And finally, the Himalayas are explored. Is that because I didn't want that giant gray thing on the map? No, actually, it's because there's good technology now. And, you know, it's pretty cool to explore, I feel like, you know. Moving over to China, they're going to expand. China's a really strong country, by the way. They formed around a bay. They have really good trading and stuff. So they're really strong. So they're going to take over all of this land and then more. They're going to take over this and this. And China's really dang big. One final, I swear, I promise you, this is the final thing, is a new country is going to form. This country is going to be right here, and they're going to form like so, looking like that, and they're also going to have this little island right there. So they're pretty big. And with that, we're going to end off the episode here. This was a very long episode, and as a recap, we saw Africa get majorly explored. We also saw the Nile and Sudan expand a lot. We saw India's floods recede. We saw Mongolian chaos. We saw Red's rebellions fall into anarchy, and Red took them over. Europe filled in rapidly. There's a Scandinavia exploration arc, and we discovered Iceland and Greenland, and right now, we think that Greenland is a continent. That is what's on the tables right now. We still don't fully know. We haven't sent anyone to there just like since then. However, we have sent some like miners and stuff to gather some of the resources here to see if they have any special differences than the current resources that Norway has. And what they found is there's no differences. However, if they were to have the technology, they could have oil. We saw the First Punic War happen, and Rome, in fact, lost land. We saw this little agreement that Rome and Orange have got filled in. The plague disappeared once we figured out that you solve it with cow milk after having it sit out for 2 hours in the sun. It's like warming it up, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. There's probably more to it. If you want to theorize in the comments, you go. You got this. We saw Rome betray Cyan, their long ally. They also took over this orange country right here. They didn't even last an episode. I just realized that. That's funny. We saw Lime declare war on Maroon, and then Red got pulled into the war, and Red annexed both of them. And we saw mutual relations form between Red, Cyan, and Ukraine. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and I know I missed last week. I was just really burnt out from daily upload week. So yeah, this is episode 11. Episode 12 I hope so, will be coming out next Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Make sure to give any suggestions down in the comment section below. I hope you guys liked this episode. And oh shoot, we forgot Daily Britain update. Hold on, guys. This little green country takes over this country right here. Okay, boom. That is our Daily Britain update. My bad, guys. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down any ideas that you have down below. I try to use them all. I can't use them all, but I used a lot of them. And by the way, there is a lot of lore. Make sure to go rewatch episode 9 with captions on. I know some people noticed it. Most people didn't. Skip ahead to about 15-minute mark. Rewatch from there with captions on. And you know, it's pretty cool. Just check out all these episodes. Episode 1, I'm pretty sure has a bit of lore. Episode 4 has lore at the very end. There is lore, and that's pretty cool. Episode 9 has lore. There's no hidden lore in this episode, I don't think. No, there isn't. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hope you guys liked it, and until next time, see ya.